You watched us design and build this house in 150 days, but the work is far from over. We're about to jump into my favorite part of the process of bringing all this together. Join me for an exclusive look right here on eHow Home. I want to show you a simple idea that gives you a lot of options. I'm just pulling back some of this river gravel just to illustrate a point. In this area in front of the house and the paths that we created on either side of the house, I decided to go with natural flagstone. And you can see these here, and you saw us put those down in some previous videos. Now, what we're looking at now is what to do in between these stones. And I like the fact that you've got all these natural shapes. And in this particular case, what I decided to do, at least for the time being, was just to set these stones on our natural grade. Not really preparing the soil in any special way, and then using this river rock in between the stones just to fill in as a ground cover. Now, there are a lot of different ways you can go from here, and what I like about this approach is that this gives me flexibility. If I want to take away the gravel and grow something in between these stones, that's easily done. You can see I've just pulled all this gravel back. It's that easy, and here's the existing soil. Now you can see this is pretty heavy clay. So what I will need to do in the spring is to integrate some material in between these stones by digging some of this clay out, adding something that's very porous. That can be in the form of sand, can also be in the form of some good potting soil or humus. In other words, you want the water to shed away from the roots of whatever you happen to be planting here. Now, I've done this before on other projects where I have planted sedums and succulents in between stones along paths, and it can make such a difference. It can be so beautiful. It's like decorating the floors of your house with a mosaic. The thing to remember here is that you want to make sure that you get plenty of drainage. If this holds water, a lot of the plants you might try to grow, well, they might look good for a week or so, but they'll eventually just begin to die off because the roots will rot in the standing water or too much moisture. That's why it's important to get that porous mixture in between the stones. Now, a classic plant to grow between rocks and gravels would be thyme. Yes, the herb thyme, and there's so many different types of thymes. You could almost do a thyme carpet across this particular space. So when the spring comes, I may work through some of these spaces between these stones and come up with a really wonderful pattern of sedums and sempervivums and succulents as well as thyme. Planting all those different types of plants here would make a beautiful tapestry. Hey, if you're enjoying these tips and ideas on how to make a space like this more beautiful, tell a friend about it. And make sure you subscribe to eHow Home.